Hi, my name is Anna and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk to you about the differences and the importance of yarn over and yarn under in crochet. But before we start, let me tell you about a very exciting event which is taking place tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be Friday because I'm posting this video tomorrow. So it will be on Friday, yeah. So the 9th and the 10th, so there's Friday and Saturday, the 9th and the 10th of May, there will be very exciting crochet event called the Crochet with Confidence Summit. And I am very honored to be part of it. There is 12 experts taking part in the summit, and all of them will share with you amazing things about crochet to boost your confidence, or if you just wanted to learn a technique. I'll be covering two techniques. I'll be covering Tunisian mosaic crochet and Tunisian stranded collar work. The sign up is absolutely free, or you can upgrade to VIP where you will get a lot of bonuses. One of the bonuses is this fantastic project bag. So this is the Tunisian mosaic and Tunisian stranded collar work, which you can use to practice your newly gained skills after watching my video. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it, and it's got this fantastic hinge clasps. Yep, love it. So yeah, so that's it. I will place all the links below so you can have a read, you can sign up, and you can look at all the other experts and everything. The summit is hosted by two amazing crocheters. So that's Hannah from Hannah Jan Crochet and Veronica from Blue Star Crochet, who's lovely. They are both really, really nice. So yes, if you are interested, go and have a look. But also I have a review video coming out soon, and in this review I will review two books. One of them is this beauty, which is stunning. Actually, there is a review. It's stunning. There you go. It's all about Tunisian crochet garment, and it's just amazing. Do I need to do a review like video now? You know I love it. The other one is this one. It's about menopause makes. I know, I'm very, very excited. It's a sewing book, which I'm not a great sewer, but you know what? I do dabble occasionally, very rarely, very badly. I'm a terrible sewer actually, but I was very excited to have a go at one of the projects in there. So I will share with you that very, very soon. But for now, let's talk about yarn over and yarn under. So what is it, you might ask? Well, the way you wrap the yarn around the hook, or the way you grab the yarn with the hook, makes a difference, which I'm sure you know. But in case you don't, I'll tell you again. The difference is in the tightness of the finished fabric. So yarn over, the standard way, the way you kind of wrap the yarn around the hook, gives the looseness into the fabric, where the yarn under creates tighter fabric, which is perfect for amigurumi, the little toes, or big toes, whatever. It's perfect. So I want to talk about that. The reason I want to talk about this subject, because it did come up recently in something when I was teaching, and when I started in the knitting and crochet lag business, when I started to teach, the learn to crochet classes were the bread and butter. For years and years and years, I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, and I loved every minute of it. However, there is a difference when you learn when you are learning the way you grab your yarn around the hook. There is a difference, and again, it is an important one, because the finish effect of your fabric has a difference. So especially when you're learning, you want to learn the most common way, the way that most patterns are written for. And of course, as you gain more confidence and you crochet more and more, you can choose which method suits your particular project better. But when you are learning, yarn over is the key here. Another reason I wanted to do this video as well, because I want to do a video also covering yarn over and yarn under in Tunisian crochet, which are two different techniques and are used for different things. And of course, I also want to cover in knitting the differences between yarn over and then yarn forward around the needle and all that. So this kind of will lead me into a 3-part series about all the wonderful things that we do with yarn, the yarn overs. So let me stop talking. So let me stop talking, put my camera down, and then get started with yarn over and yarn under. So these are the few swatches I prepared for this video. So just a standard square and in the round. Now, if you look at the standard squares, so this one is worked using yarn over and this one is worked using yarn under. They look very similar, however in feel they feel very different. And also you can see that this one is smaller. It's smaller and is a little bit shorter as well. When it comes to feeling the fabric, the yarn under feels a lot tighter. It has less give widthwise, nice give lengthwise, but it is tighter. The yarn over, you can see there is a lot of stretch lengthwise and widthwise. Also, if we look carefully at our stitches, the stitches in yarn under and yarn over looked a little bit different. So if we stretch our yarn over, the stitch forms a nice, I'm gonna use this one, the stitch forms a nice little V. In the yarn under, it's kind of more of an X. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's more of an X. You see? When crocheting in the round, the same thing is common. So this is yarn over, and you can see that there's lots of gaps in between the stitches, and in the yarn under it's a lot tighter work. There's not as many gaps and it is a lot tighter. That's why yarn under is very good for amigurumi, because it will create a denser fabric. However, when using standard crochet, so let's say you're crocheting a garment, and designers will use yarn over. If they use yarn under, mostly they will specify. So if you're making a garment, it's very important to create a tension square, because you need to be able to count your rows and your stitches. Because if you use a pattern that requires you to create double crochets, you will single crochets with yarn overs, and you will use yarn unders, you will create denser fabric. It won't have the same flow. So obviously it could be the sizing of your item, or the general flow and drape of your your garment will be different. So it's very important that we will choose the right method when we are crocheting certain items. Again, for amigurumi, this one is absolutely fine, because again it creates a beautiful and tight fabric, which is perfect. So when you're stuffing it, there will be no gaps or anything. Now, what are the differences are there? I find, and I know that others do as well, that when you work with yarn under, your wrist hurts. There is a lot of tension pressed on your wrist when you're creating yarn under, and your wrists tend to hurt, which means you won't be able to crochet for long time, which means you will have to have very regular breaks in between crochet. So I wouldn't crochet something that is large using the yarn under, because it's unnecessary strain on your wrist. The second thing is yarn over uses more yarn, because you will create this yarn over which will use a lot more yarn. What I have also found, that the yarn under will slant less in tapestry crochet. So when you're creating color work, especially tapestry crochet, and when you're working in your standard double crochet, you will single crochet, your stitches tend to kind of slant. In yarn under, this isn't as apparent. These are the most common differences I can think of at the moment. If you do know any more, then please do leave them in a comment below. But let me show you how to first work the yarn over. So yarn over is the one you are taught when you learn to crochet. This is the one that is used most commonly by everybody. is the most common way of wrapping your yarn around the hook, and it's very comfortable, and once you get used to it, it's very, very good. So we're going to insert our hook into our next stitch, and when we are grabbing our yarn, we're going to go underneath our hook and on top of the working yarn, you see? So under and top and pull it through. We have 2 loops on hook, yarn around and pull it through both. And one more time. So we're going to go into our stitch, and when we are wrapping our hook around the yarn, we're going to go under the yarn and on top to grab it. And now pull it through and pull it through both. And one more time. So in, under, so you see, under and top, and pull it through and finish off as normal. So again, this is the standard way. This is how most people are taught, and this is what they also call the correct way, which I hate using that word correct or incorrect, because I don't think there is such a thing in crochet. I don't think there's a correct way of doing anything. It's whatever suits you. However you work it and it gives you pleasure, then that is the most important thing. So I hate using the correct and incorrect way, but this is the most common way. Let's call it the most common way. Okay, so now the yarn under. So this time we're going to insert our hook into a stitch, and we're going to place the hook on top of our yarn and pull it through. And again, behind our yarn, so the hook goes behind our yarn, and pull it through. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Into our stitch, place the hook on top of the yarn and grab the strand and pull it through the stitch. And now when you have 2 loops on hook, you're going to place your hook behind the yarn again and pull this strand through those 2 loops on your hook. And again, in, top, and grab your strand, pull it through the stitch, place the hook behind the yarn again, the working yarn again, and pull it through both of those loops. You see? Yarn under, it's also fantastic when you are doing cross stitch on crochet, because it creates this wonderful ready-made X. Is just so easy, and the denseness really aids the cross stitch process, and cross stitch looks beautiful. So these are the differences, and this is how you work it. Each method has its place, so choose them wisely. And thank you so much for watching, and I see you very soon for yarn over and yarn under in Tunisian crochet.